On the 10th of January, 49 BC, Gaius Julius Caesar stood with his army on the shores of the Rubicon River. Across its waters lay Italy, Rome, and the biggest decision of his life. Caesar was on his way home after 8 years fighting in the farthest reaches of Rome's empire. Caesar had it all, but in spite of all this, he was in danger of losing everything. When he left Rome 8 years before, he was in the middle of a bitter power struggle with members of Rome's political elite, the Senate. Caesar had discovered that his enemies in the Senate were plotting to put him on trial the moment he returned to Rome. Caesar knew that if he returned to Rome without his troops, he would be ruined. But he also knew that to cross into Italy with his army would drag the nation into all-out war. Caesar took the greatest gamble of his life. Uttering the now infamous words, "Alia jacta est," the die is cast, he ordered his men to cross the Rubicon and march on Rome. For the next 18 months, he pursued the Senate's forces through Italy, Spain, and Greece. On the 9th of August, he secured a decisive defeat over the Senate's forces and emerged from the war victorious. By taking on the Senate and winning, he had shown the world what he was capable of. Caesar needed to draw on all of his charm if he wanted to reunite Rome, which stood dangerously divided. So, in the aftermath of his victory at Pharsalus, Caesar reached out to one of his former enemies, up-and-coming senator Marcus Junius Brutus. Brutus was a prominent member of Rome's aristocratic elite, but that wasn't the only reason Caesar chose him.
Brutus is the son of the great love of Caesar's life, and there are all kinds of rumours that he was his son. I mean, probably not true, but it's undoubtedly the case that Caesar looks on Brutus with great fondness and an almost paternal sense of affection.
Caesar forgave Brutus for fighting against him in the Civil War, and sealed the deal with a lucrative gift, the governorship of Gaul. In one deft move, Caesar had bought himself the loyalty of one of Rome's noblest figures, then sent him abroad, out of reach of those who might try to break up their friendship. Caesar returned to Rome in victory, but he knew there was a huge task ahead. First, he had to win over the people of Rome, and then the ruling elite, by casting himself as the savior of the city. He entered Rome in triumph, with his face painted red like Jupiter, the king of the gods. Caesar had even more to celebrate than just his military conquests. He had also been elected dictator of Rome, to steer the city through its time of crisis. This title gave Caesar sole authority over the Roman Empire, but the position was only intended to be temporary. After that, dictators had to hand power back to the people. The law was designed to protect the Republic from a repeat of Rome's past, when the state was ruled by tyrannical kings. Caesar's first target was to win over the people of Rome. So he kicked things off with 40 days of lavish festivities, all staged in his honor. 6 months passed, and more, and still Caesar did not step down. But neither did he seek vengeance over his former enemies. Instead, in a radical and unexpected move, he forgave them. But there was a darker side to his clemency. Caesar had neutralized his former enemies in the Senate. Now he set about using his great wealth to consolidate his popularity with the people of Rome. Caesar spent vast sums of money constructing new buildings and temples all over the city. He generated much-needed work for Rome's unemployed. And his generosity did not end there. Rome's elite were appalled. It seemed to them he was trying to buy power through the people. Caesar had sealed his popularity with the people through games, food, and jobs. Now he could set about his plans to transform the Senate. In a dramatic shake-up, Caesar flooded it with new members, expanding the ancient institution from 600 to 900 senators. Caesar argued that Rome's old senatorial system of government was no longer fit for purpose. But Rome's existing elite deeply resented the arrival of these foreign interlopers. Caesar was playing a skillful political game, winning popularity with the people and packing the Senate with men loyal to him. Now, only one thing could undermine his achievement.